Good morning. Summer is here. It's time to relax, maybe read a book or two. And if you're trying to decide what to read, the Luanne and Eric Book Club is back. I'm the Eric in that pairing, of course, and Luanne is best-selling author and friend of our program, Luanne Rice. She's written great novels for adults, and in September, her newest young adult book, If Anything Happens to Me, will be released. Luanne joins me in Studio A. Welcome back.
Thank you. So great to see you.
This is great to see you as well. This is my favorite segment of the year, where you just tell us about books you've read that you think we should head right down to the Connecticut beaches and read ourselves.
Exactly. Go buy your book, take it down, spread out your towel, and start reading.
And we said we're going to talk about your book that's coming out in September, but you have picked some books that you think people would enjoy as they sit by the Long Island Sound.
Yes.
All right, let's start with the first one. It is The Friday Afternoon Club, a family memoir. It's by Griffin Dunn. We may know Dominic Dunn, maybe more readily by name. This is Griffin Dunn. It's a lot of celebrity names, but not a celebrity memoir. Tell us about it.
Totally. So Griffin is Dominic's son. Most people would know Griffin as an actor, American Werewolf in London, and a director. But this book, he joins the family business. So Dominic, wonderful writer, his aunt and uncle, John Gregory Dunn and Joan Didion. It's so stunning. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's really from his heart, and it tells so many stories about his life in Hollywood, moving to New York. Carrie Fisher was his best friend and roommate, and he was her roommate when she was doing Star Wars. And she would come home and say, "Why do they make me wear these bagels on my head?" And she thought it was going to be a flop. And he talks about what it was like to be, you know, to see a friend take off in that incredibly high velocity way. And then, you know, he did pretty well himself. But it's a wonderful book. And there's a Connecticut connection, because of course Dominic is a Hartford native. And I actually went to Dominic's grave with that book to tell him how proud he should be of Griffin.
Well, and that's, I mean, Dominic has had such a career in this one specific genre. This is very different than that. Yeah. And yet, it's gripping nonetheless.
It is. I mean, it's a memoir, but it reads like fiction. I mean, it reads like a novel. It's page-turning.
It's a memoir of an incredible life that almost seems like it should be made up.
Absolutely.
All right, so that one is out now, so you can pick that one up. On to the next one. This is The Accidental Joe.
Oh, my God.
And this is Tom Straw, The Top Secret Life of a Celebrity Chef. It's fiction, and it's a chef whose chef TV show becomes like a front for the CIA?
Yeah, he gets recruited by the CIA. And by the way, so Tom Straw is also a Connecticut resident, and he wrote the Castle novels that became the Castle TV show that was a big hit. So yeah, it's about a celebrity chef approached by the CIA. They want him to use his show as a cover. He says no. He does not interested in it, and it seems too dangerous. It seems he's busy. And finally, his patriotism kicks in. And also they say it's not going to be dangerous. You're going to be the MVB, most valuable bystander. Of course, that doesn't work out that way. But it's it's really riveting, and it's funny. Tom has a great sense of humor. And it takes us through France and feeds us delicious food.
Well, listen, and make you hungry while you're reading it. The next one is, I'm constantly referencing the New London Day. It's my local newspaper. It has been my whole life. And this is a former Day reporter and columnist, Alisa Bass, Happy Hour.
Yeah, so I was a big fan of hers when she was at the Day, and she's written this novel. It's one of my favorite novels of the year. It's called Happy Hour, and it's about a woman whose life blows up when she goes into her husband's car and finds an unfamiliar cell phone. So her life changes at that moment, and she is in despair. She goes to Cape Cod to sort of try to make sense of everything. Her best friends, her siblings, take her under their wings and try to help her heal, find herself, and find like a lot of happiness, a lot of happy hour. It starts off as a very unhappy hour, but she ends up finding a much younger boyfriend who is called alluringly Surfer Guy. So
and it's her debut book, so many of our viewers may be familiar with her work at the Day. Her debut book, and you said your favorite of the year.
It really is wonderful.
All right, let's move on. Let's shuffle the deck here, go to the next one. This one made me laugh, because last time you were here, I said that the themes for you are the beach and sisters. So here we have The Summer We Started Over, about two sisters on Nantucket. That's where the author actually lives, and author of 35 novels, Nancy Thayer. Yeah. Tell us about this one.
So Nancy is a beloved novelist, and she's lived on Nantucket forever. She's the godmother of Nantucket fiction, and she came along long before Ellen Hildebrand. So if you're a fan of Ellens. You haven't read Nancy yet. This is a great one to start with. It's about two sisters, and they come home to their family house in Nantucket, and it's like family secrets kind of boil up from the past, and they have to find a way back to each other. But it's really evocative of Nantucket and beach and just New England and sisters.
What better thing for a summer read than to be thinking about Nantucket?
Yeah.
Maybe another nice place for the summer would be Calabria. You could go to Italy for The Lost Boy of Santa Chionia. Maybe
Chionia.
Chionia. See, that's why I have you here. An American woman turned detective. Another one I can see why you liked it.
So this is going to be my other favorite. I mean, all the books are my favorite books of the year, but this one is very special. So Juliette Grames is also a Hartford native, and this is her second novel. It's extremely rich and historic. It takes place in 1960. American woman moves to Calabria, to this little village, Santa Chionia, to open a nursery school. And soon after she gets there, a flood just decimates this little town. And so there's a lot of, trauma, but maybe even more so because a skeleton is uncovered. And it may or may not be the son of one of her best friends that she makes there. So she does a lot of investigation, and she kind of comes into contact with organized crime, with one of the biggest crime syndicates in the world. But it's like a trip through Italy. It's through that part of Italy, wild and just beautiful.
This one comes out in a couple of weeks.
That comes out in a couple of weeks.
So this is good for your August beach vacation.
It is, and she and I will be doing an event in July, and it will be on my website. It'll also be on Juliette's, and we hope you'll come see us.
Perfect. That's great. Pitch Dark by Paul Doran. This is the Mike Bowditch Mysteries number 15. He's a game warden, and this is the 15th book about him.
It is. And I've mentioned Paul on other of our book clubs, and I've gotten mail from our followers, and they wanted to hear more about it. So this one came out just yesterday, and it is a wild ride. So it takes place in Maine. Mike Bowditch is a very appealing recurring character in Paul's work, and it's the best chase novel that I've read in. I can think of one other that is almost as good as this one, but it just edge of the seat. Mike Bowditch chasing the criminal, and
And if you haven't read 1 through 14, that's okay.
It doesn't matter at all. You can be totally introduced to his world in this one.
Is there something, as you look at all these books, and we'll post them on our social media, if you want to go to my Facebook page, we'll have the graphics for all of them if you want to pick them up. Is there a common thing that makes them a good beach read?
I think just great story, great characters, great story. The kind of book that, when I pick it up, I don't want to put it down. And so that was kind of my guiding light with this.
September 17th, your young adult novel, If Anything Happens to Me, a dark teen thriller, is coming out. We only have a few seconds left, but give us a quick preview.
Takes place in Old Lyme. A girl's sister has been murdered. Killer has not been found. She ends up finding another would-be victim of this killer, who might be a teen serial killer or not. And they have to solve the mystery, the two girls. And so it's kind of scary.
All right. Well, we'll have you back in September.
Oh, you're the best.
I'll read the book. Maybe I'll have Jack Parker read the book. He's in the proper age group.
I know. Let's have Jack in that teen book club.
Luanne Rice, thank you for being with us. We're all out of time. People will get the books and check them out.
Thanks, Eric.
As we wrap up our segment, remember Luanne's new young adult novel we just talked about, If Anything Happens to Me, is out September 17th. If you want to pick up one of Luanne's books to read this summer, there are many excellent choices. Head to her website, luannerice.com. Click on the books. We have another great read for you to consider coming up. It's from Luke Russert. His interview is coming up right after this break.